This is the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff Show, a weekly broadcast that breaks down each Eagles game better than anyone else. The Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff Show is broadcasting live from the Great American Pub in Conshohocken and is heard on both 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM and is brought to you by the Great American Pub, Independence Blue Cross, Penn Community Bank, Fogo de Show, and Hand and Stone Spa. We now go live to the Great American Pub in Conshohocken for the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff Show. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Domowitch and Paul Jolovitz.
And welcome everybody to the Great American Pub in Conshohocken, Pennsylvania. This is the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff. We are here to celebrate the Eagles winning the NFC Championship, getting a ticket to Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. We'll talk about that all night tonight for the next hour. That's our version of all night. My co-host Paul Domowitch, rocking a Clemson shirt in Will Shipley's honor. How you doing?
Doing well, Charlie.
Great to have you here. Our guest tonight used to play with the New Orleans Saints. He'll be at the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. We love him. Mr. Hollis Thomas, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me back.
Great to have you back.
Appreciate
Absolutely.
you. It's like, go Birds.
Go Bird. Guys, where do we start? I mean, yesterday the Eagles 14-12, and then they kind of broke it open. Jalen was great. Saquon with a first play touchdown. So many things about this game. Jaden Daniels, I guess, not ready for prime time. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't the reason they lost. But, Damo, do we kind of pump up Jaden Daniels a little too much going into this game?
No, I mean, I think he's probably the most poised rookie I've ever seen in my life.
He might be, but he wasn't ready for yesterday.
I mean, he was okay. I mean, it just he was outplayed by a better team. I mean, the Eagles just were, especially offensively, just so dominant.
Yeah.
7 rushing touchdowns.
4 turnovers.
Four
They're all
turnovers.
fumbles.
4 turnovers.
Hollis, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
When you play with the Eagles in New Orleans, the Peanut Tillman punch-out is a big thing. Peanut Tillman was Charles Tillman, a safety with the Bears, who punched the ball
Corner.
out, kind of started that up.
He was a corner with the Bears. Actually, before he got drafted, me and Peanut was down, and I lived in Houston during the off season, and we used to work out together in the off season.
But he practiced the punching?
Oh, well, no. The funny thing was that's always been like a staple just of any good defense. Yeah. It's like you always try to punch the ball out, but it's like he just made it a staple because he became extremely good at it.
What he did that's different is normally first man tackles, second man goes for the ball. He did it, and Nick teaches it a lot. First man goes for the ball, which is a little risky, but guys like Zach Baun, Will Shipley did it yesterday. Were you taught that as a player?
Well, it depends on the position you're in. If you're in the position and you head up on them, you do try to punch the ball out, and you try to swipe it out because a lot of times the ball carrier carries it like a loaf of bread. The funniest thing though about the Commanders and the Eagles' last 2 games, they had 5 turnovers in the game that we lost to them, and 4 this week. Yeah. But the one thing that I feel like, when I talk to you, I don't think this had aired yet, but when Joe Witt Jr. went on in his press conference talking about how they were going to hit. It's like you don't give a team something to fight for. That was personal. Yeah. When you say something like that, you just
of course you're going to try to hit him. That's what he is.
Thank
it's like
you.
saying you're going to try to intercept balls he throws.
Thank you. But when you go on it to make a point to talk that trash, I know all of his veteran defenders like he just wrote a check that we can't cash. So you just don't do that, and that's one thing. And I didn't get a chance to tell you that let me know that the Commanders were scared. And then you don't want to. We were talking about before we came on. We were talking about Jalen Carter. That particular statement pissed him off, and you saw it from the word go. It was it was a great game to me. I knew they was gonna make it tough at first. But then once we imposed our will, we happy.
All right, Damo, how'd you feel? Commanders take the ball, go 18 plays, about 3.5 hours, kick a field goal. He goes holding to a field goal. And then one play, Saquon, see ya, 7th 60-yard play of the year. What kind of air did that take out of the Commanders' sails?
Quite a bit, yeah. I was surprised that they took the field goal after I think they went for it on 4th down twice before that on that drive.
Right. Yep. But you know what, Damo? Okay, so when you defensively, offensively, when you get down
In the red zone there.
Yeah, when you get in the red zone and you get down closer, it's easier for the defense to defend that less space.
Yeah.
It's like so you go for like out in space because you have space to run and you can spread everybody out in your quarterback anyway. But when you got it that close, we don't have nothing to defend.
That first run. I mean, I thought Kellen Moore had his best play calling day of this season, maybe of his career. I mean, they started with that first play. I mean, he goes up under center, and they pitch it out to get outside the defense. And
didn't run that very much this year.
Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, they did things yesterday that we have not seen. I mean, the pop passes to Smith in motion, the jet sweeps to Goddard. They kind of they were holding back, and they showed a lot yesterday. And this offense going forward in the Super Bowl is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Super Bowl Chiefs were favored by 1.5. In case you were interested, to start with, in New Orleans, Eagles played that first Super Bowl 15 in New Orleans 44 years ago.
Yeah.
Hollis, you're going to go down there. What kind of town? And obviously, last week they got blasted by snow and ice. Hopefully, that won't happen next week. Doesn't look like it will be. What kind of town is New Orleans? What can Eagle fans who can afford the ticket price, the lodging, the flight, what can they expect when they get there?
A full-fledged party 24/7.
With serious security, though.
The security should be pretty good. Normally it's pretty good. It's like, but I think, but you expect to walk pretty much everywhere. There's not going to be vehicles allowed in anywhere where a lot of people are.
Because that's what happened with the car.
Because what happened with the truck.
Yep.
And so it's like I know the portion that the guy went over, and I know some people that were down there, and they heard the loud bang that they heard was him running through one of the barriers, and it was a truck. So they're going to take all the precautions. Actually, when I was down there last time, it looked like they were building up new walkways and stuff for the people to walk on, so to make it safe. And it's going to be a good time. The coolest thing when we went earlier this year, when the Eagles went to play the Saints, when the Saints had scored 90+ points in 2 games, and everybody was talking about how we're going to get smashed. They literally gave us the Eagles parade to the stadium. It was so cool, and it was done by the city. They gave us so all the Eagles fans, we all masked up and was singing the fight song all the way to the stadium, walking to our seats.
Now, when you played there, did you live on Bourbon Street?
So when I played there, we actually had just started winning, and so I was on Bourbon Street here and there, but I was mostly in the casino. I was hanging in the casino with Chuck and Michael Jordan at one time, and
Chuck Barkley.
It was. They spent a lot. They helped bring the city back, basically, in one poker game. They were, man. I was just sitting on the outside. I'm not a poker player, but we was kicking it with those guys. But the one thing, you will have a good time, and you will get some of the best food known to man.
Obviously on Bourbon Street.
Bourbon Street is awesome until you get. You
got to walk down it, right?
You have to walk down it, no cars. The funniest thing though is if you get something psychedelic, don't go down there.
Psychedelic,
if you get something that some hallucinant, don't go down there because you'll think you're in Wonderland.
All right, guys, let me ask you a quick question. One thing yesterday impressed me more than anything else.
What's
Jeffrey
that?
Lurie's on this team 30+ years. After the game, the celebration. Who was who was interviewing him?
Gully?
Jim Nance, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Jim Nance? Was it Jim Nance?
Kevin Burkhardt was
Oh, I'm
interviewing
sorry.
him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeffrey
I think
Lurie
it's
said,
CBS
you're in the Super Bowl. He goes, I'm not satisfied. We want one more. To me, it's about winning the Super Bowl, not getting there.
Thank you,
The only goal of a team is to win the Super Bowl. Obviously, you got to get there to win. What's that like, Hollis? When you go to spring training or summer camp in July and you have that goal that seems forever away, then you get closer and closer.
Yeah. The funniest thing is a lot of teams come into training camp with those aspirations, but it's only if you think about it, it's only like 8 or 9 teams who really have an opportunity. Who have the quarterback, who have the defense, who have the skill position players. But the number one thing that I've seen on teams that countlessly go into the playoffs and deep into the playoffs and eventually make it to the Super Bowl is the line play, the offensive defensive line. I had to tell somebody, some passing Yahoo, that no matter how good and how great you can pass, you have to be able to stop the run and be able to run the ball, because if you cannot once the opposing team gets a lead and they can run the ball, they put you on notice, and they run the ball down your throat, and then when you do that, you're looking at they still got those 2 high safeties, but then you start running the ball down their throat.
And they
then
put
you
a
see
safety
that
in the
single,
box.
and that single high safety. That's when you pass. People think you pass to run. No, you run the ball down their throat and impose your will, and then you get them off balance, and then like with the Eagles game, with the Eagles the last few games, if you seen what they've ran more than they passed.
Well, football answers that, Hollis, is play action. You don't fake the pass and then run.
Exactly.
Andy Reid, who is the coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, in case you've been on a 25-year mission to Antarctica, he believes in accordion football. The football is played from the lines on out. Kansas City's lines aren't great. Their rush defense isn't great. They find a way to win. We'll talk about their game a little bit later. Looking ahead 2 weeks, assuming Nakobe Dean's out, assuming that all the other injured players can play, what's the key to winning this Super Bowl? Obviously, you got to do make one more play than Pat Mahomes makes, which isn't very easy, but you have Chris Jones, you have Travis Kelce, Pat Mahomes, Steve Spagnuolo, Andy Reid. How do you dent that and prevent a three-peat?
Well, I mean, you start with the turnover situation. I mean, the Eagles are an amazing +10 in turnover differential in 3 games in this playoffs. Kansas City's -1 right now in the postseason. So, I mean, if the Eagles continue to do that, not turn the ball over, be opportunistic on defense, that's a big plus. I think they need to. They're not going to shut Mahomes down, but they need to kind of take away some of the chunk plays that he makes.
Explosive plays are the key, aren't they?
Yeah. But I mean, when you look at the 2 rosters, I mean, they're a better team. The difference is they've got a quarterback that's
the all-time X factor.
Exactly. So that's the way I look at it.
Hollis, Jalen Hurts said yesterday he had a great game. First of all, I think, and I tweeted this, anybody who doesn't like Jalen Hurts is an idiot.
Yep.
And I've said that for 3 years.
Time,
He's not the prettiest guy in the world. He's not Mr. Style Points. He just wins.
You talking about his play, or you talking because the ladies love him? I heard.
Oh, that's another situation.
As much as you? As much as they liked you?
No, probably not as much.
But he said yesterday in the postgame, guys, Nick Sirianni kind of lessened his straitjacket. He refused to say what that meant. We all know what it meant. Why don't you talk about that?
Meant he turned him loose a little bit because you have to protect the ball. It's like I think Nick saw him hesitating on a few throws that he could make with one-on-one coverage.
Those
especially
7 sacks in this one.
It's like and don't take. And he basically said, "Don't take a sack. You don't have to take a sack. Throw the ball away." And he just gave him not even a pep talk, but just a talk that soothes that will soothe the player. It was like, okay, I could just go out and play like I normally do. Because I've always thought that he was a good decision maker and he protected the ball well. And it's like a lot of people were just like down on him, and they continue to be down on him leading up to this game. Talking about, they asked Alex Smith talking about he didn't think we would hoist a trophy. How the hell would you know what a trophy being hoisted is like? It's like I get sick and tired of people who've never done it. Throwing shade on people who are currently doing better than they would ever do in their life. That's just man.
Nick said after the game, he said, it doesn't. And he's talking about Jalen specifically, but the offense in general, that it doesn't look like what people think it should look like.
Right.
And that's the same situation with Jalen. He's not Justin Herbert. He's not. He's a different kind of quarterback.
I don't want to be Justin Herbert.
Right. But I mean,
turnover machine.
He's a hell of a quarterback. You look at his numbers over the last 14 games. I mean, a 111.9 passing rating, almost 70% completion percentage, 17 touchdowns and 1 interception.
Yep.
I mean, those are phenomenal numbers, and that doesn't take in what he does as a runner, what he does with that tush push.
Right. Big time.
Yeah. So I mean, he's and what we saw yesterday. I mean, the one negative with him has been the sacks.
Right.
Behind that line, you should not be getting sacked as much as he had.
He
did, and that was Kellen Moore's. They clearly stressed that. It was get the ball out, and that,
But now when you said that, I was thinking the same thing. But it was like some of the times when he's trying to do too much and he takes that unnecessary sack like way back there. You're out of the pocket. The rule is you can throw it away.
Yeah,
it's like
he did.
I think that was one of the big difference makers because sometimes we get into a fist fight that we don't really need to be in because he takes an unnecessary sack. So
all right, well we won't take any unnecessary sacks here. We're here at the Great American Pub where the food is great. You may want to order tonight the soup, SUPE, because we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to be back. I'm going to tell you what I think the key to life is. The most important quality a human being can have, and the Eagles had it yesterday, and it helped them out in spades. We're back to the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff with Hollis Thomas, Paul Domowitch, right after this. Stay with us.
Since 1991, the Great American Pub in Conshohocken has been offering an authentic and memorable experience for guests looking to dine in or enjoy the bar and nightlife. Located at 123 Fayette Street in Conshohocken, the Great American Pub has all your craft beer selections and some of the best food options anywhere. While you're there trying their buffalo chicken spring rolls or Maryland crab cakes, enjoy your favorite sporting events on their numerous televisions surrounding the bar. Visit them at 123 Fayette Street in Conshohocken or learn more online at thegreatamericanpub.com. At
Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
A truly unique dining experience awaits you at Fogo de Chão. Fogo de Chão awes patrons with their history and tradition of authentic Brazilian steakhouse, offering many cuts of decadent fire-roasted meats prepared over an open fire and served tableside by trained gaucho chefs. Fogo de Chão, 1337 Chestnut Street in Center City, Philadelphia. For reservations, go to www.fogo.com or call 215-636-9700.
We now return to the Great American Pub in Conshohocken for the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff Show. Once again, here are your hosts, Paul Domowitch and Paul Jolovitz.
Alrighty, so just by applause, everybody. We got a bunch of people here. Thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. Welcome back to the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff Show. Don't forget, you can watch the show live at WBCBSports.com and YouTube live by searching WBCB Sports. By applause. Anybody going to the Super Bowl in this room right now? No one? A little expensive.
Cheapest ticket is what, $7,500?
Cheapest tickets are very expensive, yep. We'll talk about that as well. Quinn and Mitchell, great job yesterday on McLaurin. But Hollis and Paul, to me, the #1 quality a human being can have relative to work is toughness. Mental toughness, physical toughness. Yesterday, Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens showed that in spades. Dickerson playing center for Cam, who couldn't go because of his back. Something happened in the first half to Dickerson. Cam summoned something from somewhere and played. Doesn't get mentioned a lot, Domo, but those two on the offensive line, blocking for Saquon, protecting for Jalen. Unbelievable, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think Cam wanted to play earlier, and they were holding him back. He was still in pain, but I mean, you looked at Dickerson on the sideline. I mean, that knee was giving him.
You can tell he was hobbling pretty bad.
Yeah.
I saw the play that he just got kind of jumbled up with the guys in a little bit. But then when they put the knee brace on, he came back. You could see the snap hitting his rump, and that means that the knee was still bothering him. It's kind of hard when you play on the defensive line because you're always bending down, so you always have to bend it and go with it. So.
Well, what's it like to play with a Hollis? I mean, I know you hurt your leg plenty of times playing on the defensive line. Now, not only are you playing, but the guy blocking you, the entire offensive line, they know you're hurting.
Right.
They're going right after that.
Yes.
This is what's it like to do that?
It's I strained my groin a little one time when I was playing.
Uh-oh.
And that's when they got tents now. But the old tent used to be for trainers with towels standing up around you as the other trainer wrapped your groin up. Yeah, because you had to drop your
crown jewels. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the thing that I knew everybody knew that my groin was messed up. So it was all I was trying to do was stuff the two gap, and the thing that hurt the most was trying to change directions. So if I'm two gapping, I'm already stuffed the other guy in the one gap, and I'm hoping he comes to the other gap. But it hurts like man, because it can only give you so much pain medication before, and then I think that's the worst part is like once the pain medication wears off, and then you really feel it.
I think Jalen hurt that in the second half. Jalen was down. I got a feeling the Crown Jewels were involved with that one.
Well, if you really want to talk about Crown Jewels, you remember when somebody limped off in the halftime of a Super Bowl and came back out like Superman in that second half.
Who are we talking about?
You don't know. You don't remember when what you call it got blasted? Patrick Mahomes when we were playing them. And he got blasted.
Pat Mahomes, yeah.
It's some rumblings about the magic that goes on that the doctors do.
Yep. Is it? I mean, you think the Chiefs roster is not as good as the Eagles? The Chiefs roster may be as good as the Bills. They have a couple Hall of Famers, obviously. But Mahomes, the X factor that he is, the X factor the quarterback can be. Josh Allen, who is sentenced to some kind of torture in life by whoever does that sentencing, has to play Mahomes. Can't beat him in the playoffs. How do you beat Mahomes? The Eagles couldn't last time. People talk about the holding call, the refs, and ain't the refs. It's Mahomes.
It was the refs. It was a ref.
No, what?
You hadn't made that call all game long.
Yeah, I'm
and
making that
you chose
call.
it then to make that call.
It
was the ref.
No, he held it.
It was the ref.
Nope.
So what happened to the face mask on the fumble then? If it's not the refs, make all the calls.
Don't blame the refs.
Don't wait until the end of the game to make that bull crap.
Don't blame the refs. Just beat the team.
Then don't make that call. That was bull crap.
Hollis, that's one ref out of 7.
It had everything to do with the game.
No, it didn't.
Everything to do with the game.
That's a weak response.
The weakest response is what you're saying.
No, it's a weak response to blame the refs.
Okay, so
blame yourself.
You blame the refs.
No, I don't.
Because he made that call.
No, I don't.
Dude, please. The refs suck complete ass. All year long.
I don't blame refs.
Yeah, I do.
They're part of the game.
You didn't blame the ref when the Saints was playing the Rams and that dude knocked the crap out of the receiver, defensive receiver. The ball was still in the air, and he didn't make the call. Did he make the call?
How come players can make mistakes?
How come the refs cannot make that kind of mistake if you're standing there and watching it? You have one job.
How come
Do it. You have one job.
How come
it's so many.
All right, go ahead. I'm not going to say anything.
You're not going to win, Jolly.
Hollis,
not this one.
How come players can make mistakes, but
how
refs
come we can't talk about the refs' mistakes?
That's
how come we can't talk
crap.
about their mistakes?
Total crap.
I know it's crap.
It is crap.
It is crap.
Players lose games.
No,
period.
Referees lose games
they don't.
for you. Referees lose games for you.
The weak response to losing a game is
to
always blame the refs.
The weakest response.
Where do you stand on this one?
The weakest. You know when two teams when you play in the Super Bowl, you got the best of the best.
Yep.
The one thing that you're hoping as a player that's on the straight up and up is the officials. And when they come in there with the bull crap and nobody says anything about them, you can't say anything about them. You're supposed to be seen and not heard. And the one point of the game when it's mano a mano, and you make that call.
I don't buy
you haven't been making it all game.
James Bradbury said he held him.
No.
He said in the postgame, I held him.
Whatever.
That didn't matter?
No, it didn't.
Why?
He said that because he had to say that.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Why
you
did he have
can't
to say
anything about the refs as you play.
So don't say anything.
You guys want to be alone?
They can't because I win.
Where do you
I'm a man and I win.
No. Blaming the refs is for weak people who can't take losing. Simple as that.
The refs make mistakes. And
Big time.
They influence games.
Thank you.
Sure they do.
Where I disagree with a lot of people here is that I don't think they're out to help the Chiefs. I mean,
it kind of doesn't seem like that. But when you lay Patrick Mahomes down and you get a 15-yard penalty, that game against the Texans, go back and look at the two 15-yard penalties.
They've clearly favored the league's top
and this right here, you see this little gesture right here. Guess who got fined $14,000 for that? Allen at $14,000 for doing this. Alan Lazard and Slaughter, and guess who else did it and continues to do it and doesn't get fined? I'll wait.
Yesterday.
Do not say that the officials are bull crapping us, and we shouldn't even be talking about them.
How come
the fact that you had to say it sucks.
How come nobody ever wins a game and says the refs were bad? Because the losing team just let's blame the refs. Why blame ourselves?
If you don't want to blame the refs, no, you don't. You don't want to blame the refs. When you play good, you hope that the refs did it right. But then when you go back and you look at it, and we have the ability to get it right.
I was told when I was a kid, don't blame the ref, play better, don't blame the ref.
You want review on like pass interference?
Well, you review on half the stuff. It's some phantom stuff that they do. And it's not that you have to have a review. They already have somebody watching the game in New York.
I think, Hollis, the problem is, and I'm going to ask you
this. The problem is people not wanting to be right, wrong. If you're wrong, you're wrong.
How come stars in sports? I don't think Pat Mahomes.
How come everybody starts talking about stars?
Blue Cross Monday Kickoff right after this. Stay with us.
How come stars always do that?
Since 1991, the Great American Pub in Conshohocken has been offering an authentic and memorable experience for guests looking to dine in or enjoy the bar and nightlife. Located at 123 Fayette Street in Conshohocken, the Great American Pub has all your craft beer selections and some of the best food options anywhere. While you're there trying their buffalo chicken spring rolls or Maryland crab cakes, enjoy your favorite sporting events on their numerous televisions surrounding the bar. Visit them at 123 Fayette Street in Conshohocken or learn more online at thegreatamericanpub.com.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
A truly unique dining experience awaits you at Fogo de Chão. Fogo de Chão awes patrons with their history and tradition of authentic Brazilian steakhouse, offering many cuts of decadent fire-roasted meats prepared over an open fire and served tableside by trained gaucho chefs. Fogo de Chão, 1337 Chestnut Street in Center City, Philadelphia. For reservations, go to www.fogo.com or call 215-636-9700.
We now return to the Great American Pub in Conshohocken for the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff Show. Once again, here are your hosts, Paul Domowitch and Paul Jolovitz.
All righty, this is the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff Show right here on 1490 WBCB, 107.3 FM. It's about radio. Everything's about disagreements. It's about people stating their points. I have one. Hollis has another. I'm not a fan of the refs. I just think you have to accept them and live with them. Domo, what's your point of view? What I was going to ask Hollis, and Hollis, welcome to answer this.
My bad, sorry. Go
ahead. That's all right. Stars in sports, Pat Mahomes, Michael Jordan, whoever, obviously get calls. It bothers me. It bothers everybody. But it happens. Is there any way it doesn't happen? And before a game, you got to prepare for it, don't you?
They get
you know he's going to get them.
Yeah. I mean, the refs, there are a lot that aren't very good, and they make mistakes. I mentioned to you off the air, I mean, Saquon got away with a holding call yesterday. 31-yard pass to A.J. Brown.
Yeah, he hugged him. He hugged the guy.
So, I mean, A, a lot of them are inept. B, they favor guys like Mahomes. And the way to cure that, you had talked about review. Yeah. They should make unnecessary roughness a reviewable penalty.
Slides are going to be reviewed next year.
And it slides, and it's good because this is the thing. You can't play a game, the style of football in which we play, and you're protecting the quarterback, and they're playing a pissing contest with you on the sideline, hoping that you hit them to give them an unnecessary roughness penalty. It's like the fact that you had to lay them down and to give them a rub down to not get an unnecessary roughness penalty. And then you have an illegal contact penalty. I think the call should be more cut and dry. You're messing up the game with illegal
TVs?
Yeah, illegal contact. Really? Illegal contact? You playing football. And then a defenseless receiver, really? Are you really defenseless? You know if that ball's coming to you, everybody's going to be coming to you like a heat-seeking missile. Yep. So you better have your head on the swivel. You can't take the fear out. They're trying to take the fear out of the game. That's why guys go up and they catch those passes without fear. It's a part of the game.
I personally think there's way too many pass interference calls.
Thank you.
Let the DBs play a little bit. Dom, I know you have a question for Hollis about a very important part of the Super Bowl, the interior line.
Yeah, I mean, these defensive tackles, they're particularly Jalen and Jordan Davis yesterday emerged and made some big plays.
Mojo too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The whole group is really playing well right now.
Well, yeah, and I think when we were talking, when you guys were talking about the last Super Bowl we had against them, it's a bit of a difference this time. Yeah. We actually have some young DBs who our secondary is a lot better and our linebacker is a lot better. But we also our guys up front are young and hungry.
Yeah,
it's like you have some young guys that you have one guy who you said that Dick Vermeil equated him to one of the greatest. I wasn't going to equate him that way. I just feel like he's on his way to greatness, and he has a I don't know. He's a different type of animal.
Is it fair to call him Aaron Donald 2.0 yet?
Well, no. I think he may get to be better than that. That's why I don't anoint nobody until they have a bigger portfolio.
Did you like that head slap of his yesterday?
Yeah, I loved it. He got away with it too.
He did. See that? Right.
Yeah.
The refs missed that one.
He missed that one.
Either of you guys think the biggest play of the game? I mean, they had 14-3. Washington cuts it to 14-12. The second half was obviously a runaway, but the 30-yard pass to AJ on 4th and 6.
Yeah.
Ballsy call,
Dude.
ballsy play, great execution.
Yeah, the funniest thing about that play was it was 4th and 5, and I saw him go for it. I was like, it's time for AJ to come up because I knew that they were going to max blitz him. I was like, it's time for AJ to make a play. And so everybody looked at me. I was like, hey, it is. Because it was like he's been fighting with the kid, Lattimore, the whole game. He's looking to put him on notice for that.
Lattimore?
Lattimore.
Yep.
Lattimore used to be in New Orleans.
Yep.
He's a hothead. He's a really good corner, a good physical corner. But more times than not, he gets off his game. If you kind of get in his head, you catch the passes on him.
You saw that after the touchdown.
Yeah, you saw that. It was that was and the fourth. I thought the key play that was one of the most key plays. But we earlier you were talking about after they go on the 17-play drive, and then we score on the first play. If I'm on defense, I'm like, damn. We got to go back out there.
Yeah, exactly. That was the worry. They mentioned that on TV.
But that's what when they did the first play, I was like, man, they was like, what? I was like, they finna get another long drive because I don't think anybody on defense has caught their breath yet. So, but that was the only drawback to me. But I say after halftime, I feel like we would corral them and stuff, and everybody would catch their ones and twos, and it unfolded just like I wanted it to. A total butt kicking.
Yeah, I thought the biggest turning point late in the third quarter, the fumble when Burks recovers. The fumble by the running back on the 1 yard catch.
Have you noticed the
right after the score?
Yeah, because I've noticed all season long the guys, especially after the first 4 games. Multiple guys, multiple green jerseys or whatever color the Eagles are wearing. Swarming, dude. Yeah. Yep. That's like and you see the DBs and stuff swarming now. It's like they come there with bad intentions.
That's taught though, right? Fangio
teaches
that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's like you have to when we have the coaching staff we had before this. They didn't hold the guys accountable for things of this stature, and that's why I was talking to our friendly neighborhood Spadero. I was like, they had to grow up. They had to grow up, and that, part of growing up is being held accountable for what you're supposed to do. Like when they say do your job, that's what they mean. It's like you were asking about. He was asking about the Chiefs, and if Knox does his job in that situation, we're not talking about the Chiefs.
Probably not.
Yeah, it's like that's what it is. You have to do your job, especially in those situations. And I think that's what Mahomes has over the guys over there. And there was a Joe Montana first,
they have a terrific defensive coaching staff. I mean, starting with Fangio, obviously. But I mean, after that, to make the improvement they made after the bye week, after 4 games. Yeah. It's just amazing, and they changed the way they in that 4th game the tackling was awful. I forget how many missed tackles they had in that game. Yep. They just addressed it, and it's with a few there's been a few missed tackles along the way, but for the most part, this has been a solid tackling team that swarms to the ball.
It's way better than we were looking at before.
Yeah. All right, Hollis, you talk about teams growing up, people growing up. This team has 1 starter over 30, Lane on one side of the ball, and 1 starter over 30 on the other side of the ball. And Quinion Mitchell, say for example, Cooper DeZine. Quinion Mitchell locks down McLaurin 36 out of 48 plays a lot, 1 catch for 7 yards. How important is it for a D tackle to trust the secondary like that? And how much does it make the machine keep churning around? Because it seems like it's a huge part of it.
You remember I was part of 2 quality secondaries when I had Troy Vincent, Bobby Taylor, and Dirty One, Al Harris back there. And,
some guy named Dawkins too.
You had Dawkins, and you could get Damian Moore before we got Michael Lewis, but then Michael Lewis came with Sheldon, and Rod Hood. Yeah. And it's like when you have secondary like that, when I first knew about what you're speaking of was when Bobby Taylor came to the huddle one time, and Hugh Douglas said, "Can we get some coverage back there?" He said, "We need some rush if you want some coverage." He's like, "We got you."
How much of it is a wheel, Dom, that one part greases the other?
Yeah, I mean, especially in Fangio's defense. I mean, it's just a. I mean, the communication has to be right. No missed gaps.
Yeah, organized chaos.
Yeah, I mean, they are playing so well together.
You know, Damo, we talked. I think one time when I was on there, we were talking about it one time. The one thing that I don't know if I mentioned it to you guys, it's easy for offense when you lined up in the same position all the time as a defender. Right. Like before Fangio got here, our front was 2 D tackles and 2 ends. Yeah. All they used to do when the teams got started being able to stop our offense, all they would do was take and double team both defensive tackles, and turn the ends out, and they would have running lanes out there. Yeah. It's like now you have multiple fronts. You can't you have to sit there, and they go deeper into the play clock now instead of just coming out knowing they can snap the ball against us and knowing where we are. The indictment to that was, you remember when Big Play Slade was arguing with the offensive tackle and he said, "How y'all gonna come out and line up 4 across the front and run man under and cover 5 the entire game and think y'all gonna win?"
Big Play Slade's the defensive starter over 30, saying some stuff.
But when the offensive tackle says that in a Twitter argument, I was like, wow.
All right, Tomo, let me ask you guys both this question. Simple question. 2 years ago, Eagles have been in 4 of the last 8 championship games, blah, 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 4 Super Bowls in the last 20 years. What's better? I mean, they won in 17, but that's kind of 8 years ago. Yeah. Only Brandon's back from that one. Who's better, the 2024 Eagles or the 2022 Eagles, and who's better prepared for the Super Bowl?
I mean, I think this team's better prepared. Yeah. I mean, they might be better prepared than the 2017 team. We had so many questions about the quarterback.
It was so many questions, but it's just like, it was like you had a bunch of guys. This I feel like we built this, and then we found the proper orchestrators. We had the talent, and we saw what the talent would get you. Just 10, like we had 10, 11 wins last year, and then you put true orchestrators in like you said, the bye week couldn't come at a better time this season. Because it gave
Who thought that one had happened? I mean, everybody's thinking, oh, man.
Were you guys thinking, damn, the bye week is kind of early?
Perfect.
And so me and Irv was like, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, we don't really play our players in preseason anyway. Yeah. So the bye week to me came at a perfect time for a team having 2 new coordinators. Absolutely. Because it gives you a chance to retool things and then put them in a winning position. But it not only does that, it gives you real time. Not because in preseason you're not going to do that much. No. Yeah, so it gives you real time against real competition. Yeah.
All right, a lot of ironies in this game. First of all, Carson Wentz didn't make the 17 game. He'll be the Chiefs' backup in this game. I don't think he'll see the field. Andy Reid's team has won 17 straight one-score games. That's ridiculous. Obviously, part of it's luck, but part of it is just knowing how to win. Yeah. Either you, let me start with Hollis and Damo. Why has Kansas City won 17 straight one-score games? What's the biggest factor, Hollis?
I think the biggest factor is teams playing not to lose instead of just playing to win. The funniest thing is when you said Carson Wentz, he started that last game of the season. Somebody asked me where he
38-0.
Yeah, but they asked me was he gonna throw a touchdown pass. I was like, not a chance in hell. Before I was like, hey. But in any event, the way that they went at Patrick Mahomes, everybody fears Patrick Mahomes. They try to bleed the clock out and not give him the ball when he can come back and win or tie it up and send it into overtime. It's kind of like you remember when they were playing Tampa Bay? And when they went to overtime and they lost the coin toss. Did you see Baker Mayfield's face? He's like,
we're done.
We're done.
Yeah.
So they pack it up. Let's go. But that's the thing. They play not to lose instead of stepping on the jugular, going for the jugular vein.
Dama, why is that 17 one-score wins is ridiculous?
I think a lot of it is that defense and Spagnuolo. Mahomes gets them the lead late. and then too many situations like yesterday where you think, when they were held to a field goal, even my wife was saying, this is good. This is good. Buffalo's going to go down and score now.
Yeah, no.
And that defense they sent 6, they sent 7 after Josh Allen.
You saw what he did.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know what he did. So they run a cat style defense, what they call cowboy. And as if you have an X-Nazi split. The X-Nazi split, I was like, yeah, he's coming. And it's not that it's the fact that the pressure is fast, and it's a guy who, even if you spin out, he's still going to be there because it's a corner.
Yeah.
And it was like, we called it slot eye as well, but because the way the corner, and it was a corner, and it was at the most crucial part of the game. That's what Knox missed the pass.
How important is it, guys? In 2001, I guess, we watched the greatest show on turf lose to the Patriots because the Patriots got to they got to Warner with 4 men. They barely blitzed. Yesterday, the Eagles couldn't really blitz Daniels. Hard to blitz. How important is it for 4 men in Fangio's scheme with the isolated blitz by Baum here and there? You can't blitz Mahomes, can you? Not routinely. Yeah. How do you get to with 4?
Well, they do a lot of zone blitzing.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. I was going to say, you blitz them. That's what organized chaos is because the thing that you can't do is you can't let the offensive line get comfortable. And the thing that you missed out on when they beat the greatest show on turf, they recorded the walkthrough, and they were doing the Spygate. Yeah. So I don't.
They cheated?
Yeah, you think? They barely won. The thing is, it's like everybody's always talking about you. It's like you barely won each one of his Super Bowls. Yeah. But as soon as they took away all of his cheating scandals. What happened? He's coaching in North Carolina now.
Yeah, it's funny.
But to what you said about quickly to what you were saying about how you do the zone blitzes, but you give them man and zone sometimes. Yeah. But you have to disguise the coverages, and you have to send organized chaos after him, and always have somebody that to get him down because he, as you saw. You see the game yesterday. He had 43 yards rushing.
Yeah. But that's the difference between Vic's defense and when he runs a zone blitz and drop. You remember over the last couple of years, people were always complaining when the Eagles. In fact, some of the players. I remember Fletcher Cox would be complaining when they would drop a lineman out of because mainly there was no purpose to it. They weren't doing it like
to look good.
like he was just saying about organized chaos. Yeah. There's a point to Vic's when he drops Josh Sweat back, when he drops Nolan Smith back. It's been effective all season.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
Nolan's doing great.
Oh, he's
playing with conviction.
How big a key, guys? We're talking about maybe surprise keys to the game. Obviously, Eagles high profile everywhere on offense. Kenny Gainwell, we'll see if he can play or not. A guy that I've talked about all year, guys, Milton Williams, just keeps on playing well. He lives in Jalen Carter's shadow. Obviously, Jordan Davis yesterday pretty well. Nolan Smith, Josh Sweat, BG may play. God, that'd be great. What does Milton Williams mean to this team, Domo?
A lot. He's just grown up and developed into a real nice player. He's on the cusp of being a Pro Bowl player in my mind.
Yeah, I think he's if he keeps going the way he's going, the more play he get, I think the better he'll get.
Is he as good as Hargrave?
That's the stretch.
Yeah,
Hargrave.
No.
Okay, Hargrave is more of a pass rusher. D tackle. Okay. Now, if you want to say a run stuffer / pocket crusher, Milt's a man amongst boys. Yeah. It's like have you seen him?
Oh yeah.
He's like boy. Yes, yeah. He's that kind of guy. Now I think his time will come. Put it that way.
Another guy who stepped up on that line is a Hollis clone. Jordan Davis had a terrific game yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Only played 17 snaps.
17 snaps, yep.
But he made them count. That sack was.
Oh yeah, it was. Oh man.
When it was funny watching Daniels try to spin away from him. Yeah. And he just grabs him with his paw.
Yeah, one hand.
Yeah, you're coming back.
Yes.
One name we haven't mentioned in weeks and weeks and weeks, guys, because it hadn't been very good. Obviously, the kickoff changes that a little bit. Is Michael Clay, special teams coordinator. You got the turnover on special teams yesterday. Nice return by Shipley, who also had a nice run. Special teams have kind of sneakily gotten a little bit better. Of course, everybody's still worried about Jake. How do you feel about the special teams going into Soup 59, Hollis?
Well, I feel okay about them, but I do know Tobin for the Chiefs. I know pretty much pretty much the chief is everybody from here. They were here when I was here. Tobin is a great special teams coach, so I know he'll have something up his sleeve, especially with us falling for the proverbial fake punt. You kind of knew that was coming. I was sitting there, I was like, they're about to run a fake punt.
How'd they fall for that?
Yeah, because you're not going to think that they're going to go for it that far, especially with your defense playing decently. So it happened.
It was a good play.
Yeah, it was a good play. Yeah. I think that's one of the things when you're playing in the Super Bowl. I think Michael Clayton has to realize that you have to cover everything, literally everything.
Well, there's one thing you won't have to cover in this one. Sean Payton started the second half of the Super Bowl with an onside kick. You have to announce it now.
Yeah, you have to announce it now.
Don't think that's going to happen.
No. Elliott concerns me. I mean, he's concerned me for most of the second half of the season. Yesterday, you watched that 54-yarder. It just tailed.
Yep. Yeah, it tailed. The wind.
There's something going on with him. It's not leg strength. It's mechanics.
Yeah.
And they're going to be playing a team that's won, like you said, 16 in a row, one-score games. Every point's going to count. The last thing you need is a kicker that you can't rely on, and that's kind of where they are right now.
You're not even. I mean, this is a self-answering question for both of you guys. We got to take a quick break, but real quickly, Eagles, no chance in the world do they sign some free agent to kick in the Super Bowl. It's live or die with Jake, obviously, right?
Yeah.
All right.
You don't do that.
If they were going to do that, they should have done it like 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, they should have done it like 6 weeks ago.
Or brought somebody onto the practice squad.
Yeah. All right, we'll come back, talk about the Super Bowl, talk about the other team in the Super Bowl. Pretty good game yesterday in Kansas City. Hollis Thomas is our great guest. Paul Domowitch, our co-host. Great crowd here. And we'll be back at the Great American Pub in Conshohocken right after this. Come on down.
Since 1991, the Great American Pub in Conshohocken has been offering an authentic and memorable experience for guests looking to dine in or enjoy the bar and nightlife. Located at 123 Fayette Street in Conshohocken, the Great American Pub has all your craft beer selections and some of the best food options anywhere. While you're there trying their buffalo chicken spring rolls or Maryland crab cakes, enjoy your favorite sporting events on their numerous televisions surrounding the bar. Visit them at 123 Fayette Street in Conshohocken or learn more online at thegreatamericanpub.com.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
A truly unique dining experience awaits you at Fogo de Chão. Fogo de Chão awes patrons with their history and tradition of authentic Brazilian steakhouse, offering many cuts of decadent fire-roasted meats prepared over an open fire and served tableside by trained gaucho chefs. Fogo de Chão, 1337 Chestnut Street in Center City, Philadelphia. For reservations, go to www.fogo.com or call 215-636-9700. Since 1991, the Great American Pub in Conshohocken has been offering an authentic and memorable experience for guests looking to dine in or enjoy the bar and nightlife. Located at 123 Fayette Street in Conshohocken, the Great American Pub has all your craft beer selections and some of the best food options anywhere. While you're there trying their buffalo chicken spring rolls or Maryland crab cakes, enjoy your favorite sporting events on their numerous televisions surrounding the bar. Visit them at 123 Fayette Street in Conshohocken or learn more online at thegreatamericanpub.com.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
A truly unique dining experience awaits you at Fogo de Chão. Fogo de Chão awes patrons with their history and tradition of authentic Brazilian steakhouse, offering many cuts of decadent fire-roasted meats prepared over an open fire and served tableside by trained gaucho chefs. Fogo de Chão, 1337 Chestnut Street in Center City, Philadelphia. For reservations, go to www.fogo.com or call 215-636-9700.
We now return to the Great American Pub in Conshohocken for the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff Show. Once again, here are your hosts, Paul Domowitch and Paul Jolovitz.
All righty, back here, final segment with Hollis Thomas and Paul Domowitch. Eagles have won their last 3 championship games, 124-37. Pretty cool. We know where Jason Kelsey's going to be on Super Sunday. He made both games yesterday. Saquon Barkley, we know he'll be great. But yesterday, the Bills and the Chiefs. Chris Miller comes to this show every week, the husband of one of my wife's friends. And Hollis, I told my wife Amy today, Chris knew, he had to know he was going to lose. He just didn't know how he was going to lose. It has to be torture to be a Bills fan, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Not just you had the Super Bowls and then this.
It has to be torture playing in the AFC with Patrick Mahomes over there, because he continues to do it. Like, how long has he been in the league? Like 5 or 7 years?
Yeah, seven championship games.
Seven championship
2018.
games. He's been in a championship game or the Super Bowl every year.
Dom, my sister called me with 6 minutes left in the game yesterday. She said, "Who's going to win, Kansas City or Buffalo?" Without any hesitation, I said, "Kansas City." She said, "Why?" I said, "Because they always do."
And she was right.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel bad for Sean. I mean, you go back to 2010. He got fired by Andy.
You just can't beat him.
They kissed and made up, and he helped Sean get a job in Carolina, which helped Sean get the head coaching job in Buffalo. But still, now he can't get over the hump. He can't get to the Super Bowl because of him.
Andy's gotten over the hump. I know you want to talk about Andy a little bit, Tomo. 301 wins, third all-time, fourth all-time, whatever it is. Be some records in the Super Bowl. We'll talk about commercials and all that stuff. But Andy Reid is as meat and potatoes as it comes. The leading winning coach for both the Eagles and the Chiefs. You don't see that every day. How do you dial down Andy a bit?
I don't think he's meat and potatoes necessarily. I mean, I think he's one of the best offensive schemers in the game, maybe in history.
I mean, personality-wise.
But I'm curious. I wanted to ask. Hollis played for him for how many years?
I played for Jim Johnson. I would destroy his offensive prowess every time. I would destroy it. I literally when they traded me to the Saints, I literally called out their first 15 plays when I was playing. Literally both games.
Has he evolved? I mean, do you see?
I think he's evolved.
Yeah,
I think he's evolved tremendously. He's I think it's Tommy Melvin. Tommy Melvin was a tight end coach here.
Yeah.
He's part of their offense now. Yeah, he's still with them. So Tommy Melvin, they run more now. It's like if you ever want to see a pissed off offensive line, we were playing against somebody, and we were smashing them. And then he came back with 3 passes in a row. And Trey, Ryan, and all the entire offensive line were pissed when they came off. I was like, run the damn ball. The offensive line, they want to run the ball. You said
that about tonight, about guys. You want to keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands, Hollis.
Yeah.
You got a great running game with a great offensive line, a great back, a defensive line that's not great, 29th against the run. So what's your formula for winning this game, and how do you come out with first 15 plays, first half?
To me, I play to win. I could come out and I try to stump a motor hole in them physically, and then let them know that it's going to be like that all day. And then you take away some of you can't let Patrick Mahomes get comfortable.
Can they wear him down? They wear down a lot of teams in the second half.
Oh yeah, I think so. It's like I think with the guys we have up front, I think we can wear down just even the coolest thing about Stout Guy, he has every player prepared to be a starter each week. So that means even the backup, when they come in, have you noticed sometimes the backup may drop off a little bit? It's a rare occasion that you get a guy coming off the bench that's totally ready to play. And I've seen that time and time again with the guys that he has, and I think that's one of the good things. And then I think Vic Fangio is going to be a big part of what, because we didn't have a problem scoring points on them last time. It was just stopping them defensively, and I felt like defensively we were hamstrung. We had one arm tied behind our back, because if the offensive tackle know that we lined up in 4-man front and running cover 5, and man, not the hell. What do you think Patrick Mahomes them do?
All right, Tom, your formula?
Yeah, I mean, offensively, I agree. I don't think they're going to have trouble scoring points against the Chiefs, because I just don't think the Chiefs are capable of stopping that offense. But they need to stay ahead of the sticks. I mean, don't kick, no false starts, minimum of them, no holds. I mean, stay in manageable situations, and then do what you did yesterday. Get the ball out.
Yeah, get the ball out.
You don't leave him back there for 3+ seconds to make decisions. I mean, They ran slants again yesterday to A.J. Brown, something they hadn't been doing for several weeks.
They took advantage of the one-on-ones.
Yeah,
I like the fact that it's like we have a couple of the best, one more dynamic receivers in the NFL. One is a monster versus any DB he plays against. When they run those max blitzes, like I know that Spags will time and time again, because that's what they live on. Is like you have to have the go nuts to call that. And he does.
We obviously disagree on the refs a lot, Hollis, but this is about the refs.
Uh-huh.
You're playing against Patrick Mahomes, who gets protected, who gets calls.
Don't touch him. If it's a one step, don't touch him.
So if you're near Patrick Mahomes and he's winding up, does that change the way you play? Does it change the way you react?
I know who's not going to change. I know Jalen Carter's not going to change, and you're going to continue to get backlash because you're running all this and you don't do anything about the officials. It's officials that continue to keep jobs. If I show you, will be appalled at some of the stuff I can show you.
Both Pauls.
But both of you guys will be appalled. It's like it's big plays that are happening, and you see the official. You like, what are you looking at? Are you waiting for it? It's like, and it's so blatant. If it wasn't blatant, I would, if it was like minuscule, like it was a play yesterday that they didn't call on Washington, and literally they hugged the running back. One of the running backs went to block a linebacker, and his hand, number 8, his hands was on the back of 53. I was like, wait a minute, what? You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
What percent of plays in your career do you think you got held on?
Probably 80% of them, but it's a difference though. Once you get in the league, you don't get to It's like I'm not gonna bitch and moan to the official. I'm gonna do something about it. I'm gonna get your hands off me. You're gonna see him getting thrown, and they're gonna say you can't be throwing him like that. Well, you need to call holding. So it's like you have to impose. I'm talking about the minuscule calls that they miss. It's like blatant. The one thing that, and this is probably where I should have told you this at first. The only discrepancy I have with officials is let us know how you're calling the game. Don't start calling it one way and then have a bitchy moment towards the end and do it like that.
Right,
if you're going to call it for the superstars, let us know.
You got 7 refs from different crews in this game, 7 officials. Do they get together? Do they do that?
No, what they do is I like when they do the officials like this because they haven't worked together, but they grade out the best.
Yeah.
So it's like they try to make it some sort of get the best out of the best.
And also, particularly for the playoffs, you're going to get a lot of input from the league office live. I mean, during calls when they huddle, they're not just talking among themselves.
Right.
They're also talking to New York.
Yeah, and I like that. And that's a quick other sidebar. That's how they can get some of those plays right. They missed in our last Super Bowl. It was a turnover, and they literally slang him down by his face mask, and they missed that. They totally missed that call.
But one of the big questions about officials in all Super Bowls: would you rather have Hollis or Damo, the one crew that has continuity? May not have the best officials, but they're together, or an all-star staff playing for the first time, kind of like a Pro Bowl offensive line. Which way would you rather have it, Tomo?
Probably this way, because you're getting top of the line at every position, as opposed to a crew that may have a terrific referee, a terrific line judge, but maybe weak someplace else, where a guy's going to be calling a lot of pass interferences that he shouldn't be calling. Yeah. So, I like this.
I like this way, too, because it puts the best of the best.
All right, we got about a minute, Hollis. You're not going to be with us next week.
No.
What do you think? Give us a score.
The score to the Birds game?
Yep.
I say we win by 10.
Eagles by 10.
Yeah, because I ain't called out the score because last time I called out the score for the championship game. I said 35-17. They went way by 35.
What do you think, Tom? Well, we'll be here next week.
The Eagles are going to get into the 30s, and I think Vic's defense can prevent Mahomes and that offense from getting into the 30s. So I'm going to say 33-24.
All right, I think the Eagles win too. We'll give you a score next week, but it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a fun Super Sunday. We're here next week. We may be here the day after the Super Bowl. We may not. We'll keep you up to date. Chris Hermer has produced this fine program. Gus Barber back at the station. Thanks to Hollis Thomas for being our guest. Always thank you so much.
I appreciate you, baby.
Thank you, sir.
Tomo, thank you so much.
You bet.
Thank you everybody for coming, listening, watching. We love it. Be back next week with the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff from here at the Great American Pub in Conshohocken, where the food is great and the football is great, and we love you guys. You're great. Have a great week. Go Eagles, everybody. Bye week. Yeah. Super Bowl.
There you go.
You're listening to 1490 WBCB and on your FM dial at 107.3 W297CL Levittown.
There's no place like home. Your